Can I just start off?
Yes.
Can I just start on the soapbox, okay?
Uh-oh. This is going to be good. All right.
Let's see. 6:15 now.
Yeah. What's going on?
I've decided the problem with 2017 is...
Okay.
Since when does association with something mean an endorsement of something?
Okay, good point. What's going on?
Okay, so we have Steph Curry and the rest of the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant and company.
Okay. Yeah.
With this story floating around that they're not going to go to the White House. Perfectly within your
wheelhouse.
Decision-making process.
Right?
If that's what you want to do.
Uh-huh.
But to me, you worked all this hard. It's not a celebration for the president, whether you agree with him or not. You worked so hard, and you are now the champions. You're the national champions. That's for you. That's a celebration of you.
Yeah.
It should be an honor to go there. Also, at the same time this week, we have advertisers pulling from Megyn Kelly's show on Sunday night because she did an interview with Alex Jones. Once again.
Okay.
She's not endorsing him.
She's
interviewing him. Now, these advertisers know that they sponsor a news show. And yes,
news shows have controversial topics.
And they have controversial guests. And what even makes Alex Jones a person is that he apparently has the ear of the president. And the president has talked about him. InfoWars has White House credentials. Whether or not you agree with it or not doesn't necessarily matter because, okay, there are a lot of people who do believe what he has to say.
Or maybe they don't believe it, but they still find it interesting. I don't know.
It really got me to thinking, do you remember when Twitter first came out and everyone, like you were just told, retweet does not equal endorsement?
Right.
Well, we're still stuck in that. Okay, now what, like 10 years into Twitter or however many years it's been around?
Yeah.
We're still stuck on that where, you know what, I might see a very interesting quote from someone or we have a president who tweets now.
Sure.
I might tweet it, but I'm not saying, yeah, he's my guy.
Right.
I'm just tweeting it. I'm just tweeting it, so retweeting it so more people can see it.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But you know what? We're, as humans, we're so open-minded at some points in our lives.
And so
closed-minded.
It's like poll after poll after poll. Mm-hmm. We see that the typical American voter is not an extreme left or extreme right voter.
Right.
Most people are like Piccadilly, okay? Now, yes, I'm thinking about breakfast already this morning. But Piccadilly, where you get in line and you kind of pick and choose the issues that matter most to you.
Right.
I was talking to someone in the building who said, there are people in her life that vote exclusively on whether or not you're pro-life or pro-choice.
Right. And if that's for them, that's for them.
Yeah, and the rest of them, issues aren't as important to them. Mm-hmm. They pick and choose different issues. But gosh, Bernie, I just think we're going down the wrong road. And again, it's totally up to the Golden State Warriors, who, by the way, have not even made this decision official.
Right.
They have also not even been invited. Like, why do we get ahead of ourselves so fast? You haven't even been invited yet. And
I think everybody...
And I'll tell you this. The sad part is that the original story about we're not going to go probably didn't even come from a team. It probably came from someone who knows someone on a team. Kind of like the whole Chris Ruddy, the guy from Newsmax, who kind of started the whole thing about Bob Mueller was going to be fired. Mm-hmm. And we're hearing more and more that was nothing but a possible thought cloud within the White House. Even if it was that.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you. You and I have been a perfect example of that in the past.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to go into it again, but you start spitballing ideas and you discuss something. You are only discussing the possibility, and then someone else who doesn't even interview the people, the person didn't interview me, the person did not interview you, and didn't interview the person we had interviewed about the topic.
Yep.
But he proceeds to write this story that has all this false information in it.
Yeah. It's weird.
That's why you totally have to trust the people you're dealing with.
And, and there are even sometimes things come across our desks here. We were talking yesterday with the Offsides guys about forwards. Okay?
Yes.
Everyone has that one friend
and
that forwards you things. And sometimes you have to, now some of them are legitimate.
Some of them are legitimate and awesome.
So here's the one that's going around this week.
Okay.
It's about how Muslims are treated in Japan and why Japan doesn't have terrorism. And it's all this list about you can't be a permanent citizen, you can't be hired, you can't import a Quran into Japan. You do a quick Google search and it's there have been websites that have been devoted to debunking every one of those lines.
Right.
Because, Japan doesn't have it only because
and I've heard
they
the
don't
same
let it have
things.
it. Now they're very strict on their laws and their
I've had conversations
surveillance
with people
and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
know.
not because Muslims can't live there. They handle it a little bit better.
Right.
So, it's just part of a huge
totally
conversation.
Understand.
But yeah, that was one of the things I was talking about with Brandon Como and Shannon Wilkerson was, okay, what if you do have that person who you really respect? I'll say it right now. My grandpa.
He will forward crazy stuff to you.
And he forwards stuff. And, sometimes I would write back. I used to just let it bother me because as someone who works in news, I can do my own Googlage.
Right.
And usually backtrack to this email started on this date and it's kind of made its way around.
Sure.
So one day I wrote back and said, you can't really believe this is true, right? And he wrote back, I believe it because I want to believe it. And I said, well, case closed. There's nothing
there you go.
You're a lost cause.
Yeah.
So anyway, the internet's a whole different thing. But, I just think association does not mean endorsement. Necessarily.
I understand.
And I understand those who say you're giving Alex Jones a huge platform. I almost get that.
Alex Jones already has a huge platform.
Exactly, but he already had it.
I hate to tell people that.
Yeah, he already had it, and you know what?
And he says things.
It's okay that the Sandy Hook families as well. I'm not even saying they shouldn't be mad. Okay, be mad, but you can't be mad to the point of saying don't air it because what we do is kind of, in the words of Megyn Kelly in her statement yesterday, we shine a light on things that you may not know about.
And what was it that what is his conspiracy theory?
His deal is that the Sandy Hook shooting was all fake. It wasn't necessarily spontaneous. That the kids were killed to push a political agenda. I mean, I think that's one of those things. He's had a lot of 9/11 theories. He was a big part of the Obama birther thing. I mean. But this is just kind of the realm he lives in. And I think that, the statement by Megyn Kelly.
But then in his divorce proceedings for custody of his kids,
he said that was a character.
This is a show.
Yeah, this is a show. I'm just a character.
So.
I don't know.
But, it's very, all of it's very interesting. The bottom line is,
it used to just be journalists who had to check their sources. But now that everyone has access to information, just check your sources a little bit. I can tell you this, here in the KPEL newsroom. We rake things over the coals to make sure they're right.
Indeed.
Or to get answers for you. So you have that. It's Wednesday morning, Winging It Wednesday, coming up at 7 o'clock. Okay, good. I got a little hot under the collar with that. I was driving in, just listening to some of the testimony from yesterday, the Sessions testimony. We'll talk about that coming up as well with our panelists. And I came in, Bernie, and the soapbox, it was just sitting right by my desk right here.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
It was ready for me.
To express yourself. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And people can think what they want to, right?
I'm like the modern day Madonna, expressing myself.
Oh, Lord. Please do not roll around on any stage or floor.
Hey, that'll get me some emails this morning.
You can do that at your own home.
The dry roads are abound for the first time in several days.
Hey, it's cool.
There's even a pretty sunrise happening. What does our friend call it? A ham. A horizon appreciation moment.
Yes.
This morning.
And it takes me forever to remember what a ham is.
Every time he calls, hey, we got a ham going on outside.
And I'm like, okay, brain, I know you're sort of working. Keep working.
Yeah.
This morning, I got to tell you, this is about the 8th cup of coffee,
Oh,
bro.
my gosh.
I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
Like I can't wake up. Where's Jerry?
We're here with you. Hey, Jerry's coming. She's going to be in from Moody Gardens over in Galveston. And you know what? I have to go ahead and tell her. Be on the lookout. We're headed that way this weekend.
Whoop,
More on Moody Gardens and the things for you to see and do over there. It's all coming up on Acadiana's Morning News.